live because there's some problems before. I think it's my setup. It's not what I want. Wait, I will. Okay. Today we're going to play Wanderlust trans-siberian strain. So this is a story about people who travel from not from going to Moscow, I think. And they're so they're in-laws, and they have a very simple story, but make it more interesting because meet a lot of people. All right, now I want to put the game. Let's go. Hi, please. All right. Okay. Um, I will keep an eye on the chat because yesterday I skipped one. I'll try my best to keep on your chat. Please keep it nice so we can enjoy it. All right. So we are going to Irkutsk. We stopped in Irkutsk. The duel between the professor and the poet. After 3 days on our great trans-siberian journey, we are dying of boredom. Fernand, of course, couldn't stop rubbing my face in the fact that he opted for the shorter road. I didn't think 20 hours would make such a big difference, especially at that stage of the journey. But it did. The train stays here for half an hour, so we could leave the station at least. Maybe go to normal shop, buy something to eat. It was a good idea. Sure, why not? I said. Anything that could break the monotony seems worthwhile. Let's take our thing. Increase the fatigue. Oh, I'm sorry. He said. He said. Take, take your luggage, I said, grabbing my duffel bag, just in case. Unlucky visitors. It was afternoon in Ar Irkutsk. I reset my watch. The bright lights of the supermarket almost blinded me when we went inside. It looked just like other supermarket. If you didn't count the Cyrillic, Cyrillic, and I was a bit disappointed. Was this really our great escape from the train? I felt like we hadn't planned the trip right. The mall was reasonably well stocked, and the prices were better on the platform. We bought some things that could help pass the time. We have 340. Uh, I don't know what currency is this. I'm sorry. A chess. Too much thinking. A book. How about playing cards? That so everyone can play it. I like cards. There was a lot you could do with a single deck. Each of us bought what they needed and we went on our way. Everything was going according to plan, and Fernand threw me, I see, I told you so, look. But a few seconds later, I realized that he slowed down. A lot. I stopped. Fernand, you coming? I asked, stopping. What does it look like what I'm doing? Oh, I will make it angrily. What does it what does it look like I'm doing? He spat angrily. Irina looked at us. Is everything okay? Yes, answered Fernand. I could see that he was trying to go a little faster. He was in pain. Okay. How about helping him but make Henry more fat? I keep walking. Fernand will manage. I wasn't going to humiliate him in front of Irana. He'd have a hard time forgiving me for that. We went on, but we were getting slower and slower. Irana was getting nervous, looking at us, then in the direction of the station, then back to us again. Okay, I will tell. Ooh! Okay, go to train, I said. No sense here. She nodded. I'll try to convince them to wait, she promised. I looked at her running down the street, then I turned to Vernon. Now, can I help? Now, can I help you? He gave me a grim look. God, I hate you sometimes. Yes, please, if you'll be so kind. So I helped him. Ooh, okay. So I'll help him, and we slowly made our way to the platform. The appearance. Wow. When we got there, the train was, of course, nowhere to be seen. The vendors were gathering their things, and the place was getting emptier and quieter by the minute. We didn't see her at first. We didn't see her at first, and it was Vernon who noticed the familiar face. Irana was standing there, in the middle of all the commotion. She had an unsure expression that didn't fit her at all. I've, I have felt awful that if I left you here, she said. My friend lives not far from here. We can sleep at his place and think about what to do next. I wasn't fond of the idea of staying at some random person's house. We were in a big city. There had to be a, there had to be a hotel nearby, or 20. Fern suddenly sprung to life and they both started talking in Russian so fast that I couldn't understand a word. Before I managed to say something, Irene of France was on the way. All, all that there was left for us to do, all that, all that there was left for us to do was wait. Vernon opened a bottle of vodka he bought at the mall. I excuse myself. I excused myself. I needed to keep a clear mind. Oh, a cat! I really love cats! Hi, kitty pie. Orange cat is the strongest race in my place. Not race. But yeah, you got it. There are no evil people in the world. Irana said that it will take her friend some time to get to Irkutsk. So we decided to take a walk. I look around. Irkutsk turned out to be a city that was straight out of the 70s or 80s. With its old blocky cars and cracked sidewalks, I didn't feel comfortable here and there. On the main street, there were speakers attached to streetlights playing old hits from the US, Presley, Sinatra, and Lennon. Luckily, they didn't play Imagine. One thing that stood out was the old wooden houses that we could see practically, practically everywhere. There sure was something. The windows were something just a few centimeters above the ground, but the wood carving was something else. Delicate and ornate, even on the oldest, most neglected of the buildings. They made me think about the patterns for frost makes on windows and the fairy tales Harriet used to love when she was a little girl. I took a few photos. My camera. The house were a relic of bygone era. The sense of decay surrounding them was almost palpable. It's all about the permafrost, said Vernon, although nobody asked him. When it gets warmer, the ground becomes softer and the buildings sink a bit. After more than 100 years, though, well, he gestured toward the nearest building. The windows were just above the ground. The windows were just above the ground. You can see the difference. You really, you really are serious about these separate things, aren't you? Murmured Irena under her breath. Come, Yvonne should be here soon. Okay. Um, since I could skip something, I will check for the chat first. If there's anyone want to say hi. Wow, catching my breath. Ah, I think there's no one. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy that yesterday someone is enjoying my content. Wait. Um, I want to edit something first. While you guys can watch for the cute cats at the moment. Okay, let's go. About an hour or two later, a big old military-looking pickup show up. We went on our way. Ooh, there were no back seats in the car. Only two wooden footstools between huge beds with undefined contents. I ran a friend, Eve Ivan, turned out to be an enthusiastic guy in his 40s. He smelled faintly of alcohol. He laughed, joked, and threw something empty, covered in sadness at us. I didn't trust him. His smile was too wide, and his sudden appearance was too suspicious. Oh, he said. He also got along with Fernand. That couldn't be a good sign. After a while, I withdrew from the conversation, watching the sunset over the Siberian plains. They looked deceptively peaceful. Fernand was chatting with Irina and Ivan about our trip. When Heather left the train in the Novosibirsk, I was sure he wouldn't make it back, he said. We spent a good 20 minutes deciding what to do if he didn't come back. Didn't we, Irina? Said to peaceful, okay. Ivan nodded and asked polite questions from time to time. Okay. By candlelight, Lis- Lisvianka was a small tourist village with maybe 20 houses. The street light didn't work, but thanks to that I managed to catch a glimpse of Lake Baikal between the houses before we got to Ivan's. Uh, if Ivan's, yeah. The lake looked peaceful under the night sky. We went inside. The house was small, a bit too small for 5 people. It would be Ivan. Hi, Ivan. We call him here Ivan. Ivan, his cousin, and the three of us. They told us to leave our things in Ivan's room. All I want was go to sleep, get to Arcus the next day, and get this all over with, one way or another. But of course, neither Fernand nor Irana or nor our host agree with me. We were invited to the table. You must be starving, said Ivan's cousin Sasha. Sit in the kitchen. We'll get you something. The kitchen was a strange, narrow space, more of a corridor than an actual room. On the shelves, I saw lots of spices in old jars with handwritten labels in blue ink. Most of the text was faded. Sasha and Ivan took some plates and made us salami sandwiches. They also dusted some old glasses that they proceed to fill with vodka. Um, I took the glass. Thanks, you, I said, raising the glass. It was strange how familiar we're with each other. 5 people connected by coincidence. Sasha, Ivan, Irana, and Fernand got along swimmingly, talking faster and faster. From time to time, they tried to accommodate me and pull me into the conversation. They're brothers, said Irana at one point, gesturing toward me and Fernand. In Lao, I explained. And you have that story about the sea. It's a good one. Won't you tell it again? Well, why not? Yeah, I can tell you many about Fernand. I started. He has balls. He's reckless. Okay, he has balls first. The lonely sea, to the lonely sea and the skies. Back in the 90s, we go over to the sea. Me, my wife, daughter, and him. He wants to go to sea. The motorboat. It's windy and stormy. We say no. He go by himself. We stay on the beach. It gets darker and start to rain. We realize that we don't see our daughter. We look for her. We start look for her and after a while panic. No one was in water. And Henriette was with our. We go to lifeguard. We ready to go to police. Then we hear, Mom, Dad, and it's Henriette with Vernon. She went with him. She go on the boat with him. He showed her boat. He showed her and took her back safely. She still loves sailing now. She is a fantastic sailor, Vernon grinned, and I started. The girl had an adventure, said Ivan. You foreigners are always worried about everything. Kids have to live their lives. She was 8, I added, but he didn't seem to see the problem. Everything went on and he got more fatigued. Okay. At one point, all I wanted was go to sleep. I was about to excuse myself when Ivan's phone rang. He picked up and then there were some fast-spoken Russian words I couldn't catch in my exhaustion. My friend is having a party. Maybe we'll go? He said, looking at Vernon and me, but more at Vernon. Sure, said Vernon enthusiastically, and twist and enthusiastically, not really uh, enthusiasm, enthusiastically. Sorry for my bad. And enthusiastically, the instant I start to refuse. We pause. We look at each other. For a moment, I wonder if I should go and see how they partied in Russia, but I just want to exhaust it. Go if you want. Uh, Go if you want. I would just want to say that. Go if you want. Go if you want. I'm okay with that. He was a big boy, and I wasn't. I was too tired to go anywhere. Great, Fernand beamed at me. We won't be long. You watch the house. Okay. Wait, a quick break, everyone. Wait, a quick break, everyone. Sorry. Okay, I think there's no one chatting me, so okay, it's fine. I said. He was a big boy and I was too tired to go anywhere. Great, Vernon beamed at me. We won't be long. You watch the house. They left surprisingly quickly, especially for people who were leaving a stranger in their home. Apparently, though, I wasn't threatening. They showed me to my room, and 5 minutes later, they were gone. I went to sleep. I finished the drinks, stumbled to my bed, and half dressed. Fell asleep. Fell asleep. Let's wake up. A day without peace. It was late morning when I woke up with a splitting headache and the feeling that something had crawled into my mouth and died. The house was silent and I was alone in the bathroom. It was the first time I really looked at the room, and judging by its appearance, by its appearance, Ivan was an interesting man. There were a lot of books there, but also rows of plastic figurines. Oh, this one on the shelves. Most of them must be more than 20 years old. I wonder why he collected them. Soon I discovered the house was empty. None of my four companions had returned from the party. I checked the time. It was almost 9. Let's eat something first. I rummaged through the kitchen and found some old bread and few dry but surprisingly good sausage. Need to think? I boiled some water, made myself a cup of straw black tea, and thought about what to do next. Let's go, went outside. The car was still there, the village seemed peaceful, and I could see the lake like out behind the wooden buildings on the other side of the road. I went back inside. I went back to the house. A black cat came a black cat came out of Sasha's room and meowed at me angrily. Let's go call Vernon. Vernon! You have thought there would be at least few messages on my phone, but there were none. So I called him, and of course there was no signal. His phone had probably died. I went outside. I went outside, but everything was the same as we arrived. I left the yard. Okay. Ooh. The chilly Siberian air blew over my face as I stepped outside the house. The world seems brighter than usual, like it sometimes is on winter mornings. Shapes were worse, sharper, colors more saturated. I squinted. Hmm. I decided to ask the neighbors. I went down to the street and didn't take long to find someone who could help me. The first person I saw, a slim man with a red face who could be 20 or 60 years old. I couldn't tell, asked me if he could help me with anything. My friend is gone. I can't find brother. He go out at night. He was shocked. Alone? With our host. With a man who gave us sleep and his father's sister, son, and friend Irana. Oh, Ivan and Sasha. I know where he went. I can show you. Come. I will meet him. Split into. Wow, very on point. The image is very on point. Split into. The house he led me was a relatively large wooden building that was roughly 5 minutes away. We walked along the asphalt road that turned down a dirt lane. The village was silent, the sound of our steps carrying ominously in the air. Here, the man said, pointing me toward the concrete house with broad windows. The curtains were drawn. They should be here. Thank you. Thanks, I said and went to knock on the door. Good luck, he answered, but didn't go away. I guess he wanted to stay for the show. After some time, the door opened. Behind it, there was a very type man who listened to my Russian for maybe 5 seconds, managed to let out a deep, painful sigh, and then let me in. It was dark inside. Someone had drawn the heavy curtains. I heard snoring and could smell cheap tobacco, alcohol, and cabbage. Okay, the host led me to the kitchen, and there, asleep with his head on the table, was Vernon. I sat down first. I sat down at the table and decided to wait him to wake up. Slowly, he opened his eyes. Then he burped. It took him a moment to concentrate on me, and when he did, he smiled drunkenly. Henry! It's good to see you! I helped him out. Just help him. Vernon, we need to go. Vernon, we need to go. I tried to help him get up, but the stubborn old ass pushed my hand away. What are you on about? What's your problem, Henry? I was worried. What's my problem? You disappeared without a trace, in a village next to the deepest lake in the world. Oh, come on, Harry. You know nothing was going to happen. I wasn't sure of that. He left me alone. You left me alone. Have you ever remotely grasped the deep meaning of responsibility? The thing escalated quickly from there. Says the man who left his house unattended and unlocked Where would we be if I haven't made friends with these people? On a train. On a train, Fernand. We'd be on train. Well, if I'm the problem, maybe you should go back to Irkutsk. On your outside, Fernand posture was suddenly very calm. Maybe I should. Let's go. Maybe I should. I say it. Suddenly very tired. No one, no one's fate is of any interest. And there I was, in the middle of Siberia, next to a road that looked like it saw no more than 20 cars a day. I could try to hitchhike or go to the ferry pier. I vaguely remember hearing that there was a train station on the other side of the river. Hmm, we're going to here, right? Hmm, let's go ferry to port. The cold wind blew in my face. Looking at the lake Baikal broke my heart. Beauty sometimes had that effect on me, and that day on the ferry, surrounded by the calm blue water, adored with the golden reflection of the sun, a deep sadness touched me. There were many us on the ferry, about 10 people, 4 cars in total. Two of the passengers, a man and a woman with Asian eyes, were talking in hushed voices as they looked at the lake. What were their stories, I wonder, looking at the weather jacket of the man. Were they born around Lake Baikal? What effect does it have on you if you wake up on the largest, deepest lake in the world every day? Every day? Lysianka grew smaller and smaller in our wake. Prana probably went back to sleep after I left. For now, though, it was only me and the water. A view? Oh, it's very nice. Water. Suddenly I realized that there was a brightness surrounding us. The sky was the color of washed jeans. The lake was almost white, and the air between me and the mountains seems radiant. I never would seen that if I still been on the train. I took a oh, but I closed my eyes first. I closed my eyes, feeling the wind on my face, the deck under my feet, and the cold, clean air around me. At the moment, I completely understood Harriet and her love of the sea. There were always only Lake Baikal and me. We are a bit like intruders there. The lake, the river, and the mountains look so monumental. Look at the Port Baikal. There was no place for people and their small unimportant issues and quarrels. Port Baikal looked like someone had put it there by accident and then forgotten about it. Port Baikal. Finally, I saw our destination. It was a very different from Lysianka, to be honest, and I was there starting to think that going there hadn't been such a good idea. There were a few houses huddled at the foot of the mountain and a small port. I thought that I saw some kind of movement, so I squinted. Then I took out my camera and zoomed in on the town. Yes, there was a train there, and it was just leaving. So, I said to myself, I managed to miss a train I didn't even know if I could catch. We were getting closer and closer. Will I even able to get back to the Arcot? I wonder. Looking at the shore, Lake Baikal suddenly felt cold and indifferent. The couple I noticed earlier had stopped talking. Now they just look at the lake in silence. The woman poured tea from an old thermos into a equally old cup for them to share. As we approached the pier, there was some commotion on deck. People gathered their things, getting ready to go ashore. We stopped The end of the world. Port Baikal was minuscule village wedged between the Angara River, Lake Baikal, and the steeps surrounding mountains. It was quiet and calm. Just being there felt soothing. The cars departed at the ferry, like slow, diesel beetles. There were a few people, passengers, the people greeting them, and who I assumed were some bored villagers. I saw a lighthouse nearby, and I knew that there was a train station somewhere nearby. I need to find a way out. Soon, I found the train station I've seen from the ferry. I also found out that the next train was leaving in 2 days. It appeared that the tracks there had once been a part of the trans-siberian railway. I couldn't fully understand why it'd been separated from the main line. Later, I learned it was because they flooded part of the tracks to fill the Irkutsk hydroelectric station reservoir. Let's go chat with the clerk first. Chatting with the clerk, I heard the most unusual story. There was a time during the Soviet Union when they wanted to build a causeway across Lake Baikal, so the trains wouldn't have to circle around the lake. But Lake Baikal is deep, and you need thousand upon thousand of trucks of stone to make the causeway. Where will they get the stone? Where will they get the stone, you ask? There are mountains around the lake. You just have to blow them up. But how? But how will you? But how will they do that? That's a good question. Luckily, Russia was a nuclear superpower. Yeah, they almost decided to drop millions of tons of radioactive rubble into the biggest freshwater reservoir in the world. At least that's what I heard. I have no idea if their story was true, but I wasn't much help in this situation I found myself in. I'll look for something to eat. Let's go eat, my friends. We are kinda hungry, right? Sturgeon of the second freshness. Oh, that's interesting. It was quite a peaceful, mesmerized by the lake and the nature around me. I almost missed the storm. I only noticed it when the woman was running. It shouted to me, "Why don't you try on a almond? You can't eat them anywhere else." It's almost sounded like a reproach. Let's go. I bought one. Why not? Yes, thank yourself. It was fat and smoky, delicate and strangely appropriate for the time and place. If I had to imagine how a fish that only live in the lake bacon taste, I would probably have imagined something like that, rich, salty, and unique. I went back to the ferry. Hmm, let's go. I went for the walk. Let's go. Railway tracks. I decided to take a walk. I decided to take walk along the rails to calm my thoughts. Maybe I wasn't exactly calm, but I felt lighter. There was so much space around me, such a contrast with the confines of the train. It was as thought I escaped from prison. I looked around. It was a sunny day, and the deepest lake of the planet was shining as though there was a second sun hidden in the abyss, in its abyss. The mountains, the lake, the tracks, everything seemed sharper than usual, like cut crystal. Compared to the train, everything was more alive here. I realized that I finally felt like I was traveling, that I reached a place that was far from home and unique. But I needed go to Arcos. I returned to the pier. Maybe next time I should try to ask someone for help instead of jumping on ferry, just because I saw one. Anyway, here I was on the to Laispejaga. The ferry driver looked at me, slightly surprised but didn't comment. Port vehicles sprang in on the horizon, together with its abandoned tracks almost unclear. I tried to decide what to do next. I probably have to hitchhike. I thought about looking for Vernon, but that was an absurd. Thinking about ways to get back to Irkutsk, I almost forgot where I was. The vehicle had a way of drawing your attention back to it, though. A few. Flight. Standing near the railing, I suddenly felt dizzy. The skies and the lake almost looked the same, and I couldn't tell the sound of wind rushing past from the hum of the engine. I felt as though I were flying. Here I was in the middle of the beautiful country on my own. I sighed with relief. What a ride! What a ride! I thought, looking back at the past of the few days, the empty the empty platform in Ivan's car, the morning hangover, Fern still drunk after the party. It all come back at me. It was not what I had in mind back in Moscow. But Russia turned out to be full of surprises. It was the first time I spent so much time in the country observing everyday life, not just war or fashion or tourist attraction. Many things I saw were ugly, some were beautiful, some were funny, and some quite dark. I saw both wonder and gro- grosque. grosque. I grew fond of the country. I didn't like the country. Actually, he didn't like on this traveling right. Just how about try to be? I didn't like the country. I realized that I didn't like the country at all. For a while, be disappointed. I couldn't stand the architecture and the breathtaking landscape. Ah, it's very sad. Very contrasted that with the previous paragraph. But let's try it. The breathtaking. I couldn't stand the architecture. The breathtaking landscapes only highlighted how ugly the cities were, messy, chaotic, violent, just like the history, politics, and the general approach to life. But to give honor where the honor was due, the people there were really okay. Let's go. I took a photo. I spent a few minutes trying to capture the moment, and somehow I managed to get lost in the blue void and my walk. Time didn't matter. If I were him, I will be like it, but I tried to be outside my comfort zone. Now, let's go. I blinked and looked around. There was two cars on the ferry. Both looked old and one was hitched to a horse trailer. The driver was very peculiar people. One was elderly man with one eye permanently squinted, and the other was, from what I gathered, a Buryan. He didn't talk much and mostly busied himself with tending to his horse. I managed to get a glimpse. A glimpse. It was a small, sturdy animal. When I got closer to Lasvinyanka, he started to get nervous, but the other calmed with a few gestures and softly spoken words in language that couldn't have been Russian. No one's fate is of any interest. Well, that was a waste of time, I told myself as I made way back to the ferry empty road in Lysivanka. Let's catch a ride. After maybe 15 minutes, I saw a car. It was old but well maintained. I took the ride. We passed the last wooden houses in the Lysivanka and go out to the Siberian display. I sat in the front next to the driver. In the back there were two kids, girls who looked about 5 and 7 years old. At the first, they were shy, but with the time, they were as loud as the little girls can be. I didn't understand anything they said because it was all so fast, the engine was loud, and their pronunciation wasn't the best. All I could tell that one of them seemed upset. After some time, she started crying, and then of course, She threw up everywhere. Oh. We stopped to clean up. We stopped. I'm sorry, said my driver, jumping out of the car, jumping out of the car and rushing to help the girl out. She was crying, and her clothes, shoes, and parts of the car were all covered in vomit. Let's go comfort the father. I. It happened all the time. He gave a little sigh, and there's what bitter relief in it. Suddenly, I realized something was missing. Already someone. The second kiss was nowhere to be seen. Oof, dang. How about alarm first? Your daughter, too. Yes, we both have daughters. He answered dismissively, trying to convince the girl to take off the vomit-covered t-shirt. I turned around to look for the girl. She was in the car. She wasn't next to her father, but there weren't a lot of places to hide. At least next to the road, a gravel road leading to some old house and brown and gold fields bathed in the sunlight. Wait, attention next to the road. Oh God, look in the car was. The girl wasn't in her seat. That was for sure. But maybe somewhere else. I remember hearing a lot of thought around the time we got out the car, but I thought nothing of it. I checked the trunk. I checked the trunk, and there she was, upset and angry. Where's my dad? Here. I answered, with sister. My answer seemed to upset her even more. She always thinks about her. He didn't even notice I was gone. I hate her. I tried to comfort her because he has a daughter. I tried to comfort her. I looked at the girl. How about sang a song? Sing her song. I sing in my language, I told her, simply, and looked at me curiously. It was an improvement, so all that was left for me to sing. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, always does the trick. She smiled, and the father took care of his youngest. Other sometimes we're ready to go. We went on. He looked tired but tried to keep the conversation going. He told me a lot about his in-laws and his mother. According to him, the generation gap in Russia was too big to be ever bridged. You know, you can't talk to them. They just don't hear what we have to say. They're too Soviet, they'll never change. He looked at his daughters. Maybe it's cruel, he said quietly. But I try to keep them away from their grandparents. I don't want their minds tainted with the Soviet poison. Oops, I have no hard feeling with Soviet. I just love this story. Near Arcos, he stopped for gas. The station was peculiar, a small building with bulletproof window behind bars. My driver opened a little drawer near the window, put money in it, and only then the gas pump started. I wanna check the chat first. A little pause, everybody. Is oh, okay. Okay. How about check in here? Is anyone chatted? If yes, thank you for chatting. I need to find my chat. I think there's nothing. Okay, let's go. Let's continue this story. He left me near the station, insisting that he couldn't take my money because of the little accident on the way. So we are not really stressed, but we are very fatigued. Let's go. Absolution, and the eternal refuge. The station hadn't changed much. The building was still huge, green, and integrated. The interior still reminded me of the 70s and 80s. There were some people there, but not many as Moscow or London. It wasn't hard to notice him. Out of the corner of my eye, I was out of the corner of my eye, I saw a limping silhouette. Fernand. Somehow he ended there too. I waited. I observed him from where I sat. After a moment, he took out his phone. Mine vibrated in the pocket. Let's pick up. They're brothers in blouse. I pick up. I'm at the train station, Fernand informed me. His voice is anxious. You? I'm here. Yeah, me too. I can see you. We meet near the ticket office, and for a moment, neither of us knew what to say. So, I start. So, Fernand's voice was perfectly neutral. Perhaps he's a bit anxious. What we do now? Well, that was refreshing, suggested Fernand, and enlightening. What do we do now? For a moment, Fernand didn't answer. He just looked at the timetable. I honestly don't know, he amended. I looked at him and tried to put myself in his shoes. He slowly shook his head. Please stop trying to read me, he demanded calmly. Sometimes I feel like we had nothing in common, but Fernand knew me so quite well. He gave me a crooked smile. Maybe you should focus on reading yourself instead. Because seriously, Henry, what the F was that all that about? Why did you leave? It was a fair enough question. Why had I have left him in lesbian camp? I was frustrated. He didn't even frustrated. You know, in that time, moments really frustrating. When we were in the train, locked in the metal tube with you doing all the talking and making the most of the decision. I feel trapped. I sighed. And when we left, you were still doing all of the talking. I couldn't do anything. I felt frustrated. I had to get out of there to try to do something, anything, on my own. Fernand listened carefully. Perhaps for the first time since we started the trip. I want to show you to Russia I know and love, he said. He craned his neck and looked at the timetable for a few moments, without really reading it. And how did getting out of there work for you? I want to continue alone. I want to continue. Let's say I shouldn't have left you. I'm happy I had the experience, but I came here with you. That's why, and that's what this journey is about. You think so? He stared at the timetable again. I don't think we're well suited to traveling together. We should try, though. Even if we aren't, that's something I'm willing to work on, I said. You have to work with what you got, Fernand sighed. So, what do we do? It was refreshing that we could solve things like adults for a change. Fernand doesn't want to change about him, but he wants others to change for him. Or some things in my opinion. But how about you guys? We should go back to Moscow to find these spots, should hitchhike together. Let's go to Vladivostok. Let's finish this. Let's go to the Vladivostok. Fernand thought about a woman. Okay, we can, said Fernand. We can try that. It seems that whatever had happened between us wasn't as devastating as it could have been. We bought the tickets. My share is running to meet me. Back to the routine, I thought. Back to the routine, I thought, stepping on the train. There was something soothing about the thought. I was looking forward for the clatter of the wheels, the lulling sway of the car, the hum of activity around me. Sometimes the steady rhythms and rail travel were exactly what I needed. I took one last look at the Arcus. The railway station looked a hyper-real in the purple light of the setting sun. There was something nostalgic about leaving. The train departed. Oh, let's go! We're back on the train. I look at Fernand. He seems to be asleep in his seat. I was almost certain he was pretending. The familiar rumble of the train filled the air. I looked at the trees outside the window and felt peaceful. When we started this trip, I had high hopes. Now a few thousand miles along, I knew a lot had changed. There was a moment on the train when I thought it wouldn't be so bad. But no, at least I was beginning to understand what Vernon saw in Russia. The sheer size of it and the multitudes of culture, faiths, and stories it contains were almost overwhelming. Maybe Vernon has been right in what he said to Irana at the beginning of the journey. Maybe we both needed this trip. Everyone in our family was a free spirit. We all needed distance to see what to do and what to think when life got complicated. Oh, that's very nice. Wait, I'm gonna check for the um chat again if there's anyone. Okay. Okay. No problems. Let's go. Control. Vladivostok was supposed to be the end of our journey, but as we stood on the ocean shore, I realized I'd been foolish to think so. I'd never seen the Pacific from this perspective. I realized it always been from the other side, from the US or Canada. It hit me that we were a long way from home, and the road back would be as difficult and demanding as it get there has been. Memory is fragile thing, and maybe that's why we collect things. I wonder what part of Russia will stay with me after I finally come home. A memory photograph about photograph, since he a photographer. A photograph of deepest sparkle blue. I look at the Vernon. Vernon was standing next to me looking at the ocean. You know what's my favorite quote from the Master and Margarita is? He asked. How could I forget? He used to repeat it all the time. It was a line from the beginning of the book, close to the scene with the sunflower oil. In order to be in control, you have to have a definite plan for at least reasonable period of time. So, how many? So how, may I ask, can man be in control if he can't even draw up a plan for a ridiculously short period of time? Say 1,000 years, and is, moreover, unable to ensure his own safety for even the next day? The end. Okay. Henry and Verna having managed to let bygones be bygones, continue the journey together. It was perhaps a beginning. Okay, that's all. Okay. Okay, that's all for the game of Wanderlust trans-siberian. It's very a simple one. It's just unfortunate that I couldn't play Road Warden in my live streaming. Though I tried to make it a display capture, but it still cannot read my Road Warden software. But overall, thanks for everyone joining this stream. If any one of you like reading story, yeah, even though my speaking doesn't really well, I hope this is inspire you to play something like this, or maybe you just want to find out if you're good with a game like very full of text and narrative. You can see it in here. I think the photo is very entertaining for me, very enjoyable, and I don't know if I want to still play a game. I think I will play by myself off stream for now, and if possible, I want to edit my The Sims 3 because I want to put up in it sometime. And there's another game that I already uploaded and haven't published yet, and even schedule it. I'm too. I'm kind of procrastinating it. Yeah, if I've not say it wrong, but yeah. Thanks for watching me. I'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye. Wait. I can't bye bye. If I don't go. Yeah. Thank you,